Yeah, it will be a really good game, I think. Arsenal coming from Europe, for sure one of the best teams in the world. If we speak about England, they are top three teams in England. So for us, it's the second part of the season. The players are excited to compete against Arsenal, and what we want to do is a good job today. Everything what we were practicing a lot the last weeks is have a good game in possession, out of possession, and the people for sure coming here today, the crowd. I hope that they can enjoy about the game.
There's Michelle Kang looking fabulous, sparkly shirt on, glittering like the diamonds that she owns. Could be actual diamonds on her shirt.
Wow, they're glistening, I would say, right? Wouldn't you?
Yes.
Okay, the coaches, Geraldez. Um, okay. Um, all right. Is this all right?
The pink,
The pink? Like here?
white,
Like
or
this?
blue? In the middle?
Is this all right? Okay.
Envision.
Welcome to the inaugural Washington Spirit International Friendlies live on DAZN, the global home of women's football. Today sees Arsenal, England's most successful women's club, face the NWSL's Washington Spirit here at Audi Field. And before we get to our game coverage, we're inviting you to get involved in the fan zone here on DAZN, the global home of women's football. Your chance to have your voice
DAZN.
DAZN is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
This fight has lived up to expectations.
Good. Finds the cup.
He's walking it, he's looking, he's begging, and it worked.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win!
Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
It's their time. A night to remember.
Amazon, proud partners of UEFA Women's Football.
If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. Success begins with a person's will. It's a state of mind.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you have the time of your life.
What a wonderful day! I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Some action. So good you've been sinning. I can make your hands clap. I can make your hands clap. Oh.
Sometimes running a business can feel like climbing a mountain. It's actually a volcano. But Xero accounting software can help keep your business finances running smoothly. Soon, climbing up that mountain will feel more like riding down one on a really cool bike that can time travel. Looking good. Where are we? Search Xero with an X, because healthy business is beautiful business.
Live on DAZN August 24th. Floyd Money Mayweather versus John Gotti III. The best ever in a bad-blooded rematch.
This is more than personal.
A 15-0 perfect record and still performing at the highest level, but with the legacy of his name. John Gotti III is looking to write boxing history. The first fight ended in chaos. Now they must collide once more. Mayweather versus Gotti III, August 24th. Live on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
Welcome to the inaugural Washington Spirit International Friendlies live on DAZN, the global home of women's football. Today sees Arsenal, England's most successful women's club, face the NWSL's Washington Spirit here at Audi Field. Before we get to our game coverage, we're inviting you to get involved in the fan zone here on DAZN, the global home of women's football. Your chance to have your voice heard, chat with other fans, take part in polls and win amazing prizes, including tickets to the Arsenal-Chelsea game at Audi Field here next Sunday. To take part, simply head to the DAZN app, register, select this game, and then join the fan zone. It's as simple as that. As we get ready to bring you this international friendly between the Washington Spirit and Arsenal, I had a chance to speak with both team coaches about their expectations for today's game.
We expect playing against a very competitive team here, Washington Spirit. I'm standing here at Audi Field, so it's going to be hot conditions we're going to play the game in. And I expect us to get a lot of important answers where we are standing both on a team and an individual level ahead of this season.
Yeah, it will be a really good game, I think. Arsenal coming from Europe, for sure one of the best teams in the world. If we speak about England, they are top three teams in England. So for us, it's the second part of the season. The players are excited to compete against Arsenal, and what we want to do is a good job today. You know, everything what we were practicing a lot the last weeks is have a good game in possession, out of possession, and the people for sure coming here today, the crowd, I hope that they can enjoy about the game.
Those are the thoughts of our two team head coaches headed into this international friendly between the Washington Spirit and Arsenal from the WSL. Welcome everyone now to our live coverage alongside Jordan Angeli. I'm JP Della Camera. Heard from both coaches about their thoughts. Your thoughts for this international friendly?
It'll be interesting, JP, because the Washington Spirit are really ramping back up to get back into NWSL season, which starts next weekend. So can they solidify some things under new head coach Jonathan Heraldez to make sure that they are on the same page? I think we're going to talk a lot about that today. For the Arsenal, they have not started their season yet, so we're going to see a mixture of players. Can they quickly find that Arsenal spirit about them? Both of these teams love to have the ball. I think we're going to see some good possession-style soccer throughout this match, but it's a friendly, so we're going to see a lot of different faces.
Let's pick some players to watch. Jordan, we'll start with Arsenal.
And it's really easy to start with Arsenal when you're talking about Leah Williamson. This is a player who's been with the club since she was 8 years old, so she knows what it means to be a player for Arsenal. It's her first full year back from the ACL tear, and I think for Williamson, one of the things she is going to be happy about that she feels like herself again. So can she be the ball-playing center back that she is? She's like a midfielder who plays as a center back, so she's going to look to build possession through her, and I think that's one of the benefits of having her back there. Then she can connect through the lines, and her number one target up front is going to be Alessia Russo, somebody who knows about playing in the United States, played her collegiate soccer at UNC, so even though her coach said it's hot, she's going to know this heat very well. She's a really creative player in the way that she plays between the lines, picks and chooses at times to get in behind, but mostly she's a goal scorer. 12 goals last year in WSL, looking to improve on that in her second year with Arsenal.
As for the home side, the Washington Spirit, they had 6 players away during Olympic duty, but they still have a very talented roster here. 2 players are back. Who do you focus on today?
Andi Sullivan has been the heartbeat of this team for a long time. Number 1 draft pick years ago for them, has played every single one of her 110 appearances with the Spirit. So she is the player that they're going to play through in the midfield to set the tempo, to give some stability with changes happening around her. But Andi Sullivan is also, like Williamson, able to connect through the lines, and she's going to look to include Ule Sarr, the French woman up top, who came in about a year ago. Didn't have the best start in NWSL, but this year has hit the ground running, 7 goals, and has a variety to what she can do, including getting in behind the back line and really wreaking havoc for opponents' back line. So they'll look to find her early and often in this match.
And for the Washington Spirit, it really starts at the top. It starts with ownership and the dedication that Michelle Kang to the right of your screen has. Not only does she own the Washington Spirit, Olympically owned, and now she's just added to her ownership with London City Lionesses, who play in a league just below the WSL. What she has meant to the Spirit alone and this league has been amazing.
She has upped the level of what it means to be an owner in women's professional soccer. She treats it like it is a prestigious honor, and I think one of the biggest things about her is she recently started a fund to help not just with those 3 clubs, but other women's sports across the world. And she said, we're not going to just treat these women anymore like little men. We're going to treat them as women. Do more research. Make sure we figure out what's going on with their health and wellness so they can perform better. Therefore, I think all these teams are going to be better. So I love what Michelle Kang has been able to do.
Under her leadership, Washington has now become a destination where players definitely want to come and play in this stadium with the training facilities they have and with the squad that they have now managed to build.
Yeah, everybody is excited about what Michelle Kang has done. Not only the players on the field, but who she's brought in leadership roles. Mark Krikorian heading up their technical directing and GM, and then they have Jonathan Heraldez, who is the best coach right now in the world, and it's bringing players over to play for the Washington Spirit because of it.
The Spirit had a bit of a break from the NWSL season. They played in a Summer Cup versus teams in NWSL and also teams from Mexico. And they're getting ready to play Kansas City next week. That's a game for second place. It's been a very good year, regular season, for this NWSL team.
And a benefit of having a tournament like the Summer Cup and even this international friendly here, JP, is you get to really work on the depth of your team. So you get opportunities for players who might not normally start in games, but now they have real life experience against not just NWSL teams in the Summer Cup, but some Liga MX Femenil teams now against a team in WSL. So they're getting meaningful minutes leading into the end of the year.
The officials and the teams are walking out. There are 6 players, as we mentioned, away on Olympic duty. They get 2 of those players back today, Lacey Santos and Gabrielle Carl. Some of the big stars are still missing. So this is still a mix and match for Washington.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be excited to see Lacey Santos getting her debut in Spirit colors. But it's all preparation to getting back into the season. So for the Spirit, it's about early possession, early determination on how they're going to set the tone of this game with the ball and without it.
See the Washington Spirit, they'll be in black today, and Arsenal will be wearing the light blue on a very hot, muggy, sticky day in Washington, D.C. at Audi Field, the home of the Washington Spirit, where they've drawn some record crowds in the past, and especially this season, where we said they're in 3rd place during the NWSL campaign, and they go back to NWSL play 1 week from today when they take on the Kansas City Current, who are just a point ahead of them in 2nd place in the NWSL standings. The teams are now side by side at Audi Field as we await the national anthems of England and the United States.
Fans, please join us today in welcoming Gabby Carl and Lacey Santos as they join us at Audi Field after competing in this year's 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Defender Gabby Carl appeared in all 4 of Canada's matches with 3 starts, helping her home country reach the quarterfinals of this year's Olympics. Midfielder Lacey Santos started in all 4 of Colombia's matches, leading the team to its 2nd consecutive major tournament quarterfinals with 2 goals during her campaign. Lacey is also making her first appearance at Audi Field today. Let's give a big round of applause for Gabby Carl and Lacey Santos. And now, fans, please welcome Juliet Slot as she presents a gift to our owner, Michelle Kang. And now, fans, please rise if you are able for today's presentation of colors presented by the Sea Cadet Corps. Please remain standing for the national anthem of the United States, sung by Gabrielle Cogill, along with Perry Burka and Kenny Long interpreting.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Gabrielle and Kenny. And now it's time to get rowdy at Audi. Let's meet the starting 11 for your Washington.
Apparently no English anthem. We are getting ready to bring you, though, the starting 11s for these two teams.
For the home team, the Washington Spirit start with Aubrey Kingsbury in goal. Anna Boutel and Tara McKeown will start in the center back pair. That has been the one that Geraldes has liked. And then Paige Mateo, usually a center back, playing left back in the absence of Casey Kruger. Then it's really about Lacey Santos in the midfield with Heather Steinbrook and Andy Sullivan anchoring that midfield. We also see Rosemont Kouassi getting her debut in Spirit colors. Look for Ule Sar to stretch the line, but also McKenna Morris will do a good job playing between the seams. He's a left-footed player playing on the right and has the ability to get in, tuck inside. For Arsenal, this is a team who is just about to start their season. So we see Zinsberger in goal. Reed and Williamson will play in the center backs. Katie McCabe at the left back. And then Vivian Leah, typically a forward, but has played as a wing back, will start in the right outside back position. Centrally, Kul Manam will anchor in this 4-2-3-1. Kim Little, somebody people in NWSL will know very well, will do her best to connect Godfrey Russo and Mead. Three very good attacking players for this Arsenal squad.
Teams are out. We mentioned the light blue belonging to Arsenal. Washington Spirit will be in black. Taking a couple of photos before this one gets started. Our match referee is Daniel Chesky. If you are in the U.S., we're inviting you to show us your game face and then photos from wherever you're watching to be entered into our photo sharing competition. The best photos have the chance to win a voucher from high-end beauty brand Il Makiage to the value of $75, $125, and $250. Head over to DAZN Women's Football for more details and show us your game face. These teams have their game face on. First of two games in this country in the U.S. For Arsenal will play Chelsea in the same stadium next week. Washington Spirit in the first part of a doubleheader will play Kansas City hours before it, also in this stadium. One of the things that Arsenal will have to get used to is the heat and humidity of Washington, D.C.
Toasty.
Yeah, good way to start preseason. They'll play in UEFA Champions League qualifying on September 4th against Rangers. Their home opener versus Man City, September 22nd. All their home games this year, Emirates Stadium. They drew well when they played there last year, half of their games. This year, the full home schedule. Underway from Audi Field. Reed for Williamson. We'll see who's going to control the tempo in this one early. Off Saar. Touched by Sullivan. That felt like a handball, looked like a handball. Now it's called.
Looks like potentially it was called offside there.
Before that.
Yeah, but that's, you can see already just a little bit of the tempo will have to be recognized by Arsenal playing their first opponent in preseason here with the Washington Spirit, a team that they, well, have never played before, quite frankly, have played an NWSL team back in the day, but that was the Seattle Reign. So I think it's going to be, these first 10 minutes are going to be interesting as these two teams not just figure each other out, but a little bit for Arsenal even more figure themselves out in this new 2024-2025 campaign.
Williamson goes forward, plays it right up the middle, found that opening, and now Arsenal get numbers forward. Down that left sideline, Godfrey in front, and that's cleared away. Stays in play though, off a block. Morris lost it there. Arsenal with a pickup. Kim Little, the veteran, has played all around, including stints in the NWSL. Defeated Zinsberger, an Austrian international. Reed, back to the keeper. One of 3 on this Arsenal squad in preseason anyway.
Washington Spirit this season have done a really good job of sitting in this mid-block, choosing when they're going to go press and winning the ball to go in the opposite direction, as we see Kouassi do that right there. But Arsenal's not stressed. They're going to be very contemplative in the way that they possess. They're going to use Williamson's skill. We've already seen her break a couple of lines with some good passing early. Really use the ball to try to break down this defensive structure from Washington.
Played up by Reed. McCabe. Into the middle for Little. Try to get that one forward. It's blocked. Spirit on the break. Leading the attack on that far side. Saw it. At an angle. Deflected out. Unless that flag was up, it would be a corner.
And here's our first real look as NWSL fans at Rosemont Kouassi. As this ball's won centrally, she pounces on it and then dribbles directly at the back line. And Ule Saar just tiptoeing here, the back line. Ooh, it was close. But the play goes on. She gets a save, forces a save, I should say, out of Zinsberger. Nice combination between those two early on.
First corner, Andy Sullivan will take it. One of the co-captains on this squad. Veteran, team leader in the midfield. Mateer among the targets going forward. Towards the middle and now beyond, off Boutel. First to the ball, Steinberg. And now it goes out, belongs to the Spirit. Very quick throw in. McKenna Morris. Steinbrook. All the way across. Settled by Gabrielle Carl. Played for Canada in the Olympics. They got to the knockout stage. Boutel. Sullivan. Right up the middle. And that gets away. Trying to find Lacey Santos making her Spirit debut. They signed her a while ago. Knew they weren't going to get her until after the Olympics. She's a big-time player.
She's so creative, and I feel like she fits what Heraldez wants. She can play in multiple different positions, playing in the 10 today. She can also play on the wing.
Wide on that far side.
Which sorry, JP. Which I think that she can play in multiple positions. It allows Santos to be able to be on the field a lot more often, because when you look at this front line, today it's Morris, Kouassi, and Saar, but it also has Rodman, it has Hatch, it has Corey Bethune who can play in those positions as well. It is crowded, and you want to make sure that you have multiple people that can fill in multiple spots.
It's a good problem to have for a coach, to have that much talent, that much depth. Played back by Little. Then McCabe, all the way back to Zinsberger. Short for Katie Reed, one of several youth internationals from England on this squad. Some of them will get a good chance to play during this preseason anyway. They were looking to go forward and try to find Manham, but it's out.
It's a really good combination, though, from Arsenal, and you're going to see this often is their work in the channels and how they utilize the winger to come centrally, so it allows the outside back to get forward. It's Vivian Leah over there on the right side for Arsenal. But a lot of their really good build-up play comes through different channel progressions like that.
Mead and Russo are the two strong attacking players, but neither one has really found much of the ball so far in the first 6 minutes, but it's early.
Yeah, I think we're gonna call their name a number of
several times. Yes. The Spirit are probably hoping we call their names less. Russo's been good for club and country, same with Mead. Mead would have been on the World Cup team, but had the ACL, so did Leah Williamson. So 2 big misses for England, who still ended up going to the final.
And you think, what would have been if those two would have been on that squad, because that English squad in 2023 at the World Cup was on another level, and then you add in a ball-playing center back, a great attacker in Beth Mead, as we get a look at Jonas Eideval there. It could have been the little piece that pushed them over the edge.
Sure. 8th minute, 0s on the board. Washington Spirit versus Arsenal in this international friendly. Matea's pass ahead. Santos played it up, then it's knocked out of play. Throw-in coming up. Morris, one of several rookies who have made a name for themselves with the Spirit this season. Imagine having 5 rookies make the squad and all contributing.
Yeah. They've all scored a goal.
Yep.
McKenna Morris in her first start versus Bay had a goal and an assist, and she drew a penalty kick that was converted. Pretty good contribution in your first start, I'd say.
Yes. So 5 of them have scored, and we also have Heather Steinberg. She was another player that was not a draft choice, but a non-roster invited player out of college. Made the squad. She's starting today. Throw in McCabe. It's headed away. Santos pushed it to the right. Long ball ahead. He wanted Saar. Morris is after it. McCabe into the middle for Williamson. Made a professional debut back in 2014. She was on that squad in 2016 in that game against Seattle Reign. Dropped off by Mead. McCabe. Mead is wide. Reed. McCabe back and forth. Williamson. Reed. Looking for space in the middle. Lofted down the middle. Chipped in there. Manham was after it. Off the fingertips and in. Arsenal has scored on the Russo goal.
That was great patience by Arsenal here. And then, of course, a little bit of magic off of the foot of who else but Kim Little. As the ball comes centrally, she knows where her target's going to be. Little has her eyes up, no pressure on the ball. And then Manham does a good job making the first opportunity, trying to flick it over the defender's head. Then you have to track Alessia Russo here. She finds a ton of space, flicks it with the outside of her right boot. Just the opportunistic ability of her there, not to take it down, to go full volley out of the air, flick it towards net and see what happens. I don't think Kingsbury was ready for it.
It was a nice deft touch, wasn't it?
It's cheeky.
Yeah. That's Russo, who played at the University of North Carolina. Her college days were there. Successful. And then she went overseas. So Arsenal strike first. Mateo will push it ahead. Santos. Steinbrook. Into the middle it comes. McKeown. Mateo, who's played just about everywhere for this team in the midfield. Outside back left, outside back right today. Santos.
It was one of the things Jonah Heraldes talked to us about is just the health of his squad right now, with a number of players from the U.S. women's national team not back in yet due to the Olympic break, that there hasn't been availability in certain positions. He had to use Paige Mateo as an outside left back in their game against Chicago. Now she's playing outside right back. But I think when you come down to it, one of the things that Heraldes wants is he wants players who feel comfortable on the ball. And Mateo, typically a central midfielder, you put her on a left back position, she's gonna feel good at build outs.
Arsenal on the move, it's Russo again, drawing a crowd. Waits for help, she was on her own. Inside the box, high upfield was Reed, but goes out of play. It's Freya Godfrey making that run in the 12th minute.
Godfrey just flanking the play and understands that she can just slip in between the seam. It's good understanding from those two and a relationship that they're gonna have to build. Godfrey, only 19 years old, has a lot of experience with the youth English national team. But not a lot when it comes to playing for Arsenal's first team. Couple appearances last year. Excuse me, 2 years ago. Last year she was on loan. So this is what preseason is about, right? Getting all those players back from being on loan, incorporating them back into your squad.
Mateo flies down the right. Looks to lead it. The cut by Uli Sar, looking to tie it, and it's wide.
How does she do this at the speed that she cuts the player back here? It's a full pace run from Uli Sar. It's a perfect pass in between the right seam from Mateo. And then this chop, see you later, Williamson. I'll take the ball, trying to go outside of the right boot. Not good enough on the last touch, but that is excellent from Sar, who has been the perfect 9 for this team this year.
Little upfield, dispossessed. Spirit looking to turn things the other way at Santos, laying it off. Mateo. Wide for Carl. This back line missing Casey Kruger, who'll be back next week. She was on duty with the Olympics. And Esme Morgan recently signed from England, but not available today. Don't want to rush her back.
Probably be confusing for her too, playing against Arsenal in those light blue kits.
Yes.
Looks a little too much like Manchester City, her old club.
Santos. Pushed wide by Vittel. Gabriel Carl. Carl was supposed to be an alternate on that Olympic team, but there was an injury there and ended up making the roster. Good player. Has played in a couple of Olympics for Canada. Steinbrook. Vittel.
And part of me a little surprised that she's playing in this game. Canada, yes, they made it out of the group stage into the quarterfinals, but it was an emotional week for them with everything happening.
Down that left side, a cutting ball in. Williamson deals with it, and then it's blasted into the seats. That was Kouassi.
And Carl finds herself in behind the back line, and this is one of the things that the Spirit can do with a little bit of possession, progress their outside backs into the space. It's not the right ball initially, but Kouassi is in the right spot. Maybe do better with it next time, but she's been pretty bright in her first 15 minutes in a Spirit kit.
Pushed back by Williamson to goal. Zinsberger. Reed. Littlest drop deeper. Arsenal in possession. Kuhl played it back. Kuhl is a Danish international. Katie Reed. Just holding up play. Arsenal with a 1-0 lead on a goal in the 10th minute by Alessia Russo. Chipped ahead on that left side. Going back towards goal. McKeown, that's risky. Kingsbury dealt with it well, but the flag was up. Here on DAZN, the global home of women's football, we have some great prizes to give away for those watching in the U.S. only. Look out for your chance to win a signed Washington Spirit jersey. All you need to do is scan the QR code or head to the DAZN app on your mobile or the web and answer the halftime fan zone quiz question in the chat room. '17th minute, Arsenal on top of the Washington Spirit on an Alessia Russo goal. Russo scored 3 goals in the last Women's World Cup at Australia and New Zealand. Butel down the left side, off Carl. Leah's throw in, knocked away. Madam's after it. Spirit get it back. Laid off by Sullivan. McKeown, Butel. Butel goes wide, far sideline. Carl slips it in, Stainbrook into space. Kawasi using her speed and skill, cuts it back. It's her Spirit debut today. Signed a few weeks back. Mater. Halfway line, McKeown. Stainbrook. Mater. Lacey Santos, that cultured left foot. Sarr kept it in, but flag went up anyway.
So nice to have Lacey Santos in that half space where then she can, on a half turn here, try to thread the needle to Sarr. She knows where her target is. Ooh, it's close there.
It is close.
But offside was called, but I think this is going to be a really interesting combination between those two, and something that Heraldes has mentioned they've been working on a lot is in progressions. When they have the ball, he feels good at that they're breaking the first line of pressure pretty well, even the second line, but how do they break down the last line, that defensive line? Once they get into the attacking third, they need more options. So as this game progresses, one of the things I'm looking for, JP, is the Spirit and their numbers around the ball. Who's supporting when it does get into the attacking third? Are there different options for them, not just to go so one-dimensional direct either into the channel or into the feet of Sarr, but is there a little bit more playmaking that happens in those situations?
Mater pulling it back against Godfrey. Back to goal, Kingsbury. Butel. High upfield, Carl. Stainbrook. Carl does like to push forward. There's an outside back. Sullivan puts it into space. Carl left side, past the corner flag, cutting it in front, knocked away. Kawasi with the pickup. Switch to Mater. McKenna Morris out of Clemson University. McKeown. Santos. Mater towards the box, playing it in front. Right to goal though.
It's exactly what I was just talking about. There's a run and beyond from Santos that allows Paige Mateer then to have options. Does she play in Santos here? She has McKenna Morris to her left, but then also the direct route into Saar in front of the net. That's great work from the Spirit in creating multiple different options when they get into the attacking third.
Saar is so good. Last year was a learning year for her. This year, it's like night and day.
It is. She has adjusted to the tempo, the pace of the league, the physicality of the league as well, and her wisdom at her running, when she chooses to dip in between the center backs or what lane between defenders she chooses to occupy, I think is just a different level, and it speaks to the success of this team in attack. Her defensive responsibilities are on point. She helps this team win the ball back and transition quickly. It's been really a joy to watch her this year.
1 goal last year, 7 this year, and she has started every game. She's been very durable. Right up the middle, Arsenal. Laid off by Russo. Williamson goes wide this time. Into the middle, knocked away. McKeown won it. Nice move on the dribble by Sullivan for Carl. 22nd minute, Arsenal with a 1-0 lead on a goal by Alessia Russo. Came in the 10th minute. On a very nice touch in front.
But one, that Washington Spirit are going to be disappointed that that's the goal they gave up to Arsenal, right? It was a little bit of lack of tracking inside of the box, turning off in a moment, which if you're Heraldez, you're thinking these are the things that we need to tighten up with this group getting back into season, because you can't give good teams half a second within the box to feel like they can occupy the right spaces. And that's all it took there for Russo to find the right space, little flick, a 1-0 score.
Reed pushes it back to Zinsberger, who used to play with Bayern Munich. Williamson. Got it back from Kuhl. Saar put on a little bit of pressure. Reed. Zinsberger. Williamson. Pressure there from Steinbrook. That's blocked. Morris. Early ball. Steinbrook. Another one towards Saar. Cut off. Well read by Williamson.
Williamson is like, yeah, you can cut me, but watch me just do the same thing back to you. Really nice touch out of pressure by Leah Williamson.
She made it look effortless,
yeah.
didn't she?
And that's one of the things, the qualities that I love about her playing center back. She's a center back with midfielder qualities.
Down that right side, you've got 3, 4 on the attack for Arsenal. Played across. Godfrey's header right at goal.
Space again inside the box for Arsenal. Quick transition trying there for the Spirit, but is a little too lack for the Washington Spirit when Arsenal do get in their defensive box, giving too much space to players.
Back and forth, Little and Williamson. Leah. It's going to go out of play. Here on DAZN, the global home of women's football, we have some exciting leagues kicking off soon with DFB Pokal starting the 20th of August. Frauen Bundesliga, August 30th, that starts. Liga F on the 7th of September. Fans can register for free at DAZN.com/women's football for access to live and on-demand matches in select territories. Long ball from Arsenal. Well covered by the Spirit, but the flag was indeed up.
Monum does a good job playing in the 10. I thought it was going to be Kim Little originally in the 10, but Monum is good in that position of breaking the back line, and she knows if Williamson gets space to lift her head, it's a good option to try to go direct and early. Scored a goal in their last game of season just like that. It's nice to see Kim Little back on U.S. soil.
Yeah.
Watched her terrorize this league for many years with her ability on the ball, making us defenders look silly.
Kingsbury pushed it wide. That's headed away and out in front of that Spirit bench. '26th minute. Throw in here for Paige Mateer. And that goes out again. If you're in the U.S., we're inviting you to show us your game face. Send in photos from wherever you're watching right now. Enter our photo sharing competition. The best photos have the chance to win a voucher from high-end beauty brand Il Makiage, valued at between $75 and $250. Head over to DAZN Women's Football for more details. Zinsberger pushing it wide. Reed. 26th minute. Arsenal's first game of the preseason. They'll be in Washington, D.C. all week, taking on Chelsea next Sunday. We'll also have that game for you right here on DAZN. Sullivan, Mateer, Steinbrook, Anaïd Boutel. Up the middle for Santos, brought it down well. Sarr was looking the other way, but the flag was up on Morris. '27th minute. Arsenal with the lead on a Russo tally. 10th minute. That's the difference in the game. Spirit have had a couple of looks, mostly with Sarr, but nothing really at goal.
I just wonder, as this half progresses, the heat, the fitness level of Arsenal, if the Spirit can do what they've done so many times already this year, is capitalize off of mistakes playing out of the back, because you can see Arsenal super comfortable with playing through the lines, keeping possession, under pressure, but they're not fit, they're not in season. And I think if you're the Spirit, you're thinking, we need one more chance here before halftime, pick in the pocket and go in the opposite direction.
Expecting to see a lot of subs today, especially with Arsenal. Up to 5 sub windows, so the substitution rules different than in the NWSL. And as you mentioned, with the heat, humidity, and this being the first game, I would expect you'll see more of the Arsenal bench than the Spirit bench.
Yeah, I'm already seeing Leah Williamson over there on the far side with her hands on her knees.
That's early.
That's early.
But it's preseason.
I know that feeling in preseason where you're like, I got to grind through this a little bit.
We had it knocked away.
Win!
Oh, you could hear Witt from the sideline. Godfrey dancing into the box, looking to cut it across, blocked and cleared in one motion by McKeown. Throw in coming up.
And when Arsenal have found Witt, that's when they got the goal. That's when they found some success. They do really well in the channel. I spoke about the progressions that they had earlier, bringing here Beth Mead might check centrally.
In the box, a chance there, but the flag is up again.
But if you don't use those channel progressions, then it can open up this switch of the point of attack, and it's Monham again. Different look from what we saw from Leah Williamson to her earlier, but this one, a diagonal ball. It's Williamson, head up on a dime here. Monham can't control it. But I think those two are reacquainting themselves quite well with one another.
Yeah. By the way, in case you're wondering, no VAR in these international friendlies. So referee's decision is going to be final. No second looks. Carl, left sideline. Runners going forward, including Santos in the box. Played in front, knocked away. Is Reed getting back? Leah will clear it out to safety. And right now, there's going to be a hydration break. Figured they would have at least one per half with this kind of heat, and certainly Arsenal was hoping for it. Your thoughts, Jordan, after almost 30 minutes?
I think we've seen glimpses from both teams, and I would expect the possession numbers to be fairly even as we get into half, because Arsenal has kept the ball, but and they've found ways to break down the Spirit, but not too much in the attacking third, which honestly I wouldn't expect that right now from Arsenal because they are so young in their preseason. But for the Spirit, can they manage the times where they do go pretty quickly in transition moments, but then also dictate, all right, we won the ball back, there is a transition, but is it the best choice right now? I think that's where they're a little bit off in this game, because they can too play really good possession and earn a good opportunity on goal through keeping the ball a little bit more.
All right, the difference in this game is the one goal that we had. It came in the 10th minute, and it was Alessia Russo coming through.
And Kim Little plays this ball over the top to Manam, who's playing in the 10 spot and doing a really good job of challenging the back line. But it's Russo who's the beneficiary, because she keeps herself alive first, creating the space by going away, then coming towards the near post and just flicking this ball, knowing that this is going to be a hard one for Kingsbury to judge. Maybe anticipating that she would have taken it down there, but that first time finish was all it took.
Russo, the first goal for her team in this preseason in the 10th minute. Here on DAZN, the global home of women's football, we have some exciting leagues kicking off soon. Serie A commencing on the 30th of August. Archibald Premier League starting on the 21st of September. And the Saudi Women's Premier League starts September 27th. Fans can register for free at DAZN.com/women's football for access to live and on-demand matches in select territories. So this hydration break probably comes at a very good time, especially for Arsenal. What do the Spirit have to do a little bit better than we've seen so far in the first 30?
One, they've gotten into the attacking third, and so if you're going to equalize the score, you need to be better in those situations. Carl has gotten herself into a couple of good positions, maybe more distinct runners in the box, so whoever is on the ball in the crossing situation knows where their targets are. But I also think that the Spirit can relax on the ball a little bit more. Their movement off the ball needs to be slightly higher, so when they are in possession, they can use their 5-10 yard movements to shift Arsenal and make them work a little bit harder defensively, tire them out, because this is a team who's not very fit, and then opportunities would come from that.
For those U.S. soccer fans tuning in, hoping to see Emily Fox away on Olympic duty, and the same with some of the players on the Washington Spirit side. You'll get to see them next week when they return to NWSL play. Emily Fox, part of the gold medal winning squad. She went to Arsenal last year and became a regular right away. Mateer, right side for the Spirit. Nice cutting ball, but just on the wrong side of Morris. Reed, near side, McCabe. Morris puts the pressure on. McCabe was double teamed. Spirit, well, looked like they were going to earn a corner. That's what the assistant referee said, but referee has ruled otherwise.
And this is where Spirit's fitness can get after them. There, Santos goes, double teams in the corner, earns and draws a foul. Now you have a set piece opportunity.
And now they are going to give the corner. I thought she pointed a goal kick. Went with the assistant.
I thought it was a foul, so we were all on different pages.
Went with the AR. 34th minute. Spirit looking for an equalizer. Yeah, it was. So Sullivan will take this free kick. It's just about like a corner.
I'd send it near post. Out swinging ball to that near post space. See if you can get Ule Sar coming across. Little flick back towards net.
Kim Little is organizing things back there. Sullivan's ready on that whistle. Driven in, headed up and over. But there was that opportunity for Sar again.
Was I in Andy Sullivan's mind right there, or what?
I think so.
This is what the play was calling for. All that space at the near post. Great ball by Sullivan. I think Sar just overreads it, comes a little too close to the goal, has to backtrack slightly So she's falling away, and that's why the header goes up and over. She's been close a number of times. Third shot for Ule Sar.
Zinsberger. Turned over, Sullivan into the middle. Kawasi was trying to find Sar. Williamson. Godfrey. Pushed wide by Mead. Leah. Williamson. They go short.
And it feels like Mead's a little annoyed that she hasn't gotten the ball, so look how far back she's coming here to just get some touches.
Rousseau bypassed Mead to find Leah on the right. Defended by Carl. To the outside, Leah puts the brakes on. Williamson. All the way back to the circle. Reed. McCabe. Katie McCabe, a Republic of Ireland international. Was also involved last year at the World Cup in Australia, New Zealand. Left sideline. Manum. Dispossessed. And then the foul. Free kick, Washington.
Mateer's been holding her own here as an outside back, which is not her typical position. And it was, at that time, Manum coming wide to try to go 1v1. So that's impressed me. A player typically playing in the midfield, holding her own against some pretty good attackers here against Arsenal.
Boutel, Spirit. Manum was on her. Kingsbury, very dependable goalkeeper, twice goalkeeper of the year in the NWSL. Carl. Boutel. Washington in their home stadium, trailing 1-0 against Arsenal. Kawasi bumped off the ball. Williamson did well. Taken away though by Sar. Into the middle. Sullivan pushing it. Santos controlling it. Santos shot blocked. The pickup there by Steinbrook. Sullivan back for possession to McKeown. The press there from Arsenal. Almost got to it. Good recovery into the middle. Now Mateer. Santos for Morris. Lacey Santos. Oh, trying to slip it in. Sar was headed for open territory.
And it seems already those two are speaking the same language as to when Santos wants to slip Sar through. She's always balancing on the back line, ready for the ball to come through.
Trying to imagine what this full team is going to look like when you add Rodman to this and Croy Bethune to this.
I know. It's
all creative players.
Yeah, I don't know what the adjective is. It's going to be thrilling.
Yeah, but again, it's a good problem.
It is.
If you're a coach, it's a great problem.
It's one of those catch-22s, right? Where you don't want to be making the decision, but you're happy you're making the decision.
Right. Better to have too many horses, right, than not enough horses. 39th minute. Washington trailing 1-0 versus Arsenal. This international friendly from Washington, D.C. Carl. The run by Kawasi. Trying to slip it through. Spirit say it's a corner.
It's hard to tell who that originally bounced off of. Everybody's arm goes up saying it's our ball. But Kawasi, these are the moments where I was just talking about, JP. If you get into this situation, how can the Spirit do a little bit better? Kawasi does end up drawing the corner kick. I think those are moments where they need to be better in 1v1 situations. The runs in the box need to be a little bit more distinct so the player on the ball has better options.
Andy Sullivan's corner. Near post, that's cleared away by Rousseau. The only part of the field that is shaded is right there where Sullivan took the corner and where the next throw-in is going to come from. The rest of it, right in the sunlight.
Everybody's going to be hoping they play on that side of the second half.
For sure.
Coach, I'll go in, but can I just be the left back?
Just stay on that side. McKeown advances. Right side, Mateer. Back to Mateer, got a lot of minutes last year with his team. She's on the chase. Godfrey poked it ahead. Mateer does well to come back. She's had a fight away this year to get some minutes, was not starting at the beginning of the season, and got to play a lot more in the Summer Cup.
Which is such a benefit to get those quality minutes. Now she can come into this game against Arsenal having 90 minutes under her belt in a couple of different scenarios.
And she also scored during the Summer Cup. Minham lost it there. Touched by Boutel. McKeown goes back to Kingsbury and goal. Arby's in her 9th year in the NWSL. Third goalkeeper at the last Women's World Cup for the U.S.
I love the way that Aubrey Kingsbury plays. I feel like she's good on crosses, great shot stopper. She commands her box really well, has improved so much in how she plays with the ball at her feet. I'm hopeful that she continues to progress in the way that she does, and you never know, maybe one day she can get back with the national team. She has those abilities.
Saar overhit it. Morris is able to keep it in play though. For Santos blocked. Santos is on the chase, but Arsenal dealt with it well. Out it goes. Hope you're enjoying the Fan Zone here on DAZN, the global home of women's football. We have some great prizes to give away. If you're watching from the U.S., here's your chance to win a signed Washington Spirit jersey. All you need to do is scan the QR code or head to the DAZN app on your mobile or on the web and answer the halftime Fan Zone quiz question. It'll be in the chat room. Nearing the end of this first half, in the heat and humidity of Washington, D.C., Arsenal not just holding their own, holding the lead. Sent to the right side, Vivian Leah, second year with the team. Williamson, Reed. Right up the middle, it comes back to Katie Reed. Academy player since age 13. Back to goal to Zinsberger.
There's a lot of those youth players that have been with Arsenal for a long time. Reed, you mentioned Leah, Godfrey, getting really good experience to prove themselves against a team who's fit and healthy and ready to go. I think Reed has done a good job at center back and probably been the most impressive out of the 3 youngsters that are in this starting lineup. But there are opportunities where her decision-making can be another level. Can she, on the ball, we've seen her a couple of times, dribble into space, we'll see if she does it here, to try to commit the next line and then pick the right pass. That's where the next evolution of her game can be, but you can't learn that in training. You can't learn that at the youth level, right? You need to be in these types of situations. So those are good mistakes to be making if you're Reed.
Williamson in the circle. Final minute, first half. There'll be some added time for that hydration break, and maybe also more for this injury.
This was a tough tackle here by Beth Mead.
Is that a frustration tackle, maybe, from?
Maybe. I do feel like she has not gotten the ball very much, and here she lunges in. She actually pulls her foot back at the last second there. She was going in with her studs up, then drops her foot. She does get Kwasi's right leg there. Good to see that she's up and okay.
Remember how good Mead was at the Euros in 2022 with the 6 goals?
Yeah. And hard to forget.
Yeah, she was lights out during that tournament. Really where England came into their own and got so much praise as a rising powerhouse. Then they follow that up in a Women's World Cup by getting to the final.
And I think, I don't know how long we're going to see of Mead, but you also have to think she's playing in this game with Leah behind her, a player that she hasn't played with very much. The rotations in the back line are slightly different.
They're looking for a second, and it's headed away. Tough one for Russo to bring down.
So you think Beth Mead will most likely get the ball a little bit more and feel a little bit more confident in where she's getting it if she has, say, Emily Fox behind her playing at that right back position. Their progressions can then just go farther. Leah Williamson can build out more. Fox and Mead can push on. But this Arsenal squad is just, you know, starting to test the waters of what's going to work for them and what combinations work this year. Because this is a trophy-winning club, and finishing third in back-to-back years in the WSL is probably not going to be something they're looking to repeat.
We want to get back to the Champions League too. Kawasi's on the move. Kawasi cutting it back. Sar blocked. Thought that was a tying goal. It's blocked again. Zinsberger. Amazing. Right at the end of the half. Another one for Sar. This one goes. 1-1.
What's the old adage, JP? If it doesn't work the first time, try again. And Ulay Sar has been the most active forward on either side when it comes to opportunities in front of the net in this game. And here, Kawasi drives, finds a really good open run from Sar. The first shot blocked, second shot blocked. But look at Sar, check her shoulder, make sure she's on side, and says, play it back in here. I want another bite at the apple. And that's the hardest of all the finishes. Yeah. And Ulay Sar makes it look like it's a piece of cake. Zinsberger a little tentative to come off her line, and she's going to get punished with that one. An equalizer by Ulay Sar right on the dawn of halftime.
Well, she worked hard for that goal, not just there, but the entire first half. 45 plus 2 is the official time of that goal for Ulay Sar. Just when it looked like Arsenal was going to take this lead into the locker room at halftime, where we are now at.
Yeah, it's good work, and I thought that the end of the first half was going to be more in favor of the Spirit. They're more fit. They have a little bit more knowledge of playing in hot games like this. And here they are finding an equalizer right at the end of the first half. And Ulay Sar was good. 6 shots, 3 of them on target. 2 of those coming into those last opportunities.
Had to be frustrating for Washington to have as much of the ball as they did and come up empty in this first half. So great for them to get one right at the end.
Yeah, it's going to be a confidence booster for them going into the half, knowing that they are the fitter team. They can use that momentum and a little bit of knowledge now as they sit at halftime and tweak with how they're attacking and the things that were working and weren't working, because that's what these games are for. You're seeing a new opponent for the first time. You have to adapt on the fly.
We have Leah Williamson with us here at halftime. Leah, thank you for joining us. Overall thoughts, your first game of the preseason. What you thought of the first half?
I think obviously we have 2 very different styles of football when it comes to attacking third, but yeah, unlucky to concede then actually. That's bad from us because we was in control.
Leah, welcome to America. It's hot, it's humid. How have you guys been able to, what have you seen from your team in the first half that you'd like to progress into the second half?
Yeah, I think both teams are really tired. Their team was screaming for a water break as well, but I think we're moving the ball well. It's just then the final decision, the hardest decisions that you make in football are even harder when you're tired. So we need to be better in the final third.
Leah, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's Leah Williamson, who had a very strong first half of play. 1 goal for each side. Russo scoring for Arsenal fairly early, and very late, Sarr gets an equalizer. 1-1 at the end of the first half of play. Come back with us. Plenty more to come your way at halftime on DAZN.
Amazon, proud partners of UEFA Women's Football.
Sometimes running a business can feel like running a marathon. In a desert. Through quicksand. But Xero accounting software can help keep your business finances running smoothly. Soon that marathon will feel more like a fun run. On roller skates. With a jetpack. Cha-ching. Search Xero with an X, because healthy business is beautiful business.
The only place to buy your new Mercedes-Benz is direct from Mercedes-Benz. And there's no better time to buy than at our Platinum Star event at your local showroom from the 9th to the 12th of August. Unlock offers like on the A-Class range from £299 a month and discover all the rewards you can enjoy as a Mercedes-Benz owner. Visit us in store or search online today.
Estimated collision in T-minus 10. Bring it on! 9. 8.
Can you confirm satellite collision is imminent?
7. 6. 5.
Carrying out collision avoidance maneuver.
4. 3. 2. 1. Satellite collision averted.
It takes the whole force to protect space. Join us.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Hope you're enjoying this game today on DAZN. At halftime, Washington Spirit won, Arsenal won. Other games coming your way on DAZN, so we hope you'll stay tuned for coverage of some other upcoming friendlies, starting with this one. 1 week from today, Arsenal versus Chelsea have won 5 straight WSL titles. That's Sunday, August 25th, here on DAZN from this same stadium, Audi Field. Other action is also coming your way involving some NWSL teams. Angel City with Kristen Press now coming back from injury, taking on FC Juarez. That game streaming on DAZN. Check your local listings in whatever area of the world you're living in to see the exact times in your area. One other game, Gotham FC, champions of the NWSL last year. They will take on Chelsea. That is also streaming on DAZN. We welcome you back to our live coverage here on DAZN with Jordan Angeli. I'm JP Della Camera. Good way to end that first half, and probably a good way to start, at least for Arsenal.
Yeah, I felt like Arsenal did a really good job of settling into the game and getting into their play with the ball at their feet. For the Spirit, it felt like a little choppy for them, but one of the things that I think they can always rely on in their athleticism, especially at the end of the first half, we saw them pounce on one opportunity, and they knew that that's what they needed before halftime.
Highlights from the opening 45 minutes of play. We start early in this one.
And for Washington and Arsenal, this is a good opportunity for them to just get familiar with the players around them and to sharpen up, whether they're in preseason or getting back into NWSL. And I feel like we've seen a lot of really good things from Ruslan Kouassi, the new international that Washington brought in, feeding here Ule Sarr, and a narrow miss. Sarr had her eyes on goal early on in this one. And then here's the first goal for Arsenal. It's a nice play from Kim Little to open up the space in behind, and then Russo is opportunistic, actually creating this space. Watch her running. She goes away from the space, and then as she sees the ball, she says, all right, I'll take it up, and I'll put it in the back of the net. Really good work from Russo, who was their leading scorer last year. And then as the half progressed, it felt like Washington was finding a few more opportunities, and they're all coming at the feet of Ule Sarr. This is one of the things that Williamson said. Different approaches to the final third. Well, Washington is very direct, trying to spring in Sarr from deep positions to utilize the space in behind. Washington did a good job when they had set-piece opportunities. This one coming off the head of Sarr again. So what? How many chances of that now, JP? Three really good looks for Ule Sarr, and you can sense the frustration in her. But it really just takes one, and this is the right one. It's the touch by Kouassi, the pause in the movement by Sarr, that the first opportunity comes in, and then it was just keeping it alive. Sarr checks her shoulder, makes sure she's on side, and then Andy Sullivan serves in a dime that Sarr can just flick in the back of the net. This was, what, with seconds left in the first half, an excellent goal from Ule Sarr and the Spirit to even it up at halftime.
Well, the home fans didn't like the way this one started, but they certainly liked the way the first half finished off. Russo with a goal for Arsenal, Sarr for the Washington Spirit. 1-1 after 45 minutes of play. Come back with us. More from DAZN.
That is unstoppable. Aitana Bonmatí, the world's best player.
That's a superb goal. Nicely on the turn. She's amazing.
What a finish.
What a wonderful day.
Amazon, proud partners of UEFA Women's Football.
Shopping working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you'll lose, you lost. Success begins with a person's will. It's a state of mind.
Technology goes beyond special effects or epic camera shots. It offers surprising new perspectives. It takes you places that seemed out of reach. When technology becomes an extension of yourself, that's progress you can feel.
Welcome back, everyone, to this international friendly from Washington, D.C. Washington Spirit 1, Arsenal 1. Well, if you're in the U.S., we're inviting you to show us your game face. Send in photos from wherever you're watching to be entered into our photo sharing competition. The best photos have the chance to win vouchers from high-end beauty brand Il Makiage to the value of $75, $125, and $250. Head over to DAZN Women's Football for more details. So for those just joining us, it's 1-1. It was a good first half, and probably the best player in the field, certainly for Washington, was Ulay Sarr.
I think for either team, because Ulay Sarr was popping up in all different places. This was right at the beginning of the game, threatening in behind the back line, choosing the right times in which to play in front of the back line or challenge them in the space beyond. And I think that it finally paid off, right? She is their #1 target. 7 goals on the year, has been integral in Washington Spirit's success. And when you can get her in the right place, she's gonna finish a goal. It might not be the first time, JP, maybe not the second, but she'll keep herself alive. So then she finishes what was probably the hardest opportunity out of all of them. A little fadeaway header to score at the end.
I would say she earned that.
Yeah, she
right?
definitely earned that.
Hard work paid off for Ulay Sarr. Dynamic player. She can only get better.
Yeah.
Once Rodman comes back, Bethune comes back, and she gets to see where she fits in, I guess, with Kouassi and with Santos as they try to mix and match and see. Like, Kouassi looked okay in the first half, right? And we were told yesterday by head coach Jonathan Giraldes that she can play like 3 different positions, so it's finding where's the right spot for her.
And I think Kouassi is a nice balance to Sarr, because she does have pace too, so she can get in beyond the back line, and that allows Sarr to float in and create an option for Kouassi. You can see those two talking right there. And then Santos is totally different, playing in the pocket as a 10. Can slip those little balls through.
Yes.
Let's see if they're going to make any changes. I thought we'd see quite a few actually at halftime. Some players looked a bit fatigued at the end of that first half.
Which I would be shocked if they looked fit, right? It's the part of preseason they're in is demanding. You are working on your fitness nearly every day, and one of the best ways to do that is in these game situations. And so some of it might be too just pushing through the mentality of not only the heat of this game, but where you are in your fitness. You might only be 35 minutes fit. Can you push 45, push 60. It looks like we are gonna see some substitutions.
Looks like Rosa Cavaggi, who was their newest signing. You could see in that huddle, though, there were like 7, maybe 8 players that were there, so it doesn't look like wholesale changes, but Cavaggi is going to be one who's coming in there expecting an awful lot from her. Major signing, 28 goals in 61 games, playing with her club team in Sweden. Let's see who else is going to be coming in. Weinrother is coming in as well. So let's confirm all of that. Is it just going to be 2 changes? We'll get that for you confirmed. With international friendlies, there are always going to be lots of changes. We've seen games where teams have basically changed at halftime. We were not rooting for that.
Yeah.
We were not rooting for that.
Line change.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact. I'm speaking for you as well. We were not rooting for that. So Weinrother is in. She's another Austrian international. Rosa Cavaggi also in. Kim Little remains in.
Ready when you are, yep.
Getting ready to start the second half. A lot of changes. We only got a couple of them there, so we'll get you the rest as the second half is underway. It's like Washington is keeping what they had out there in that first half. Carl is on the ball. They are in black. Arsenal's in the light blue. Ball stays in play on that far sideline. Back to goal. Spirit of the ball. They were trying to find Kouassi in the box. Right side, Morris. Well played across, top of the crossbar. Not as close as top of the crossbar normally sounds. And down is Saar, which has to be cause for concern.
Yeah, and it's the collision. Saar goes up for a header and gets so much vertical. She actually gets hit in the side of the body here. You're going to see it, and it's Lada Mubin Moy who just comes in. Just gets Saar in the side of the body there, doing the right thing, trying to protect yourself, going up for a header. There's no foul in that, but it does not feel good if you're Ule Saar. You can knock the wind out of you. You see her getting some attention there.
Saar scored 45 plus 2 was the official time of that. That tied the game. There's Weinrother, one of the subs who came on. Michelle Ajamong also came in, 59. So by our count, 4 changes were made by Arsenal. Among those who came out, Williamson, Mead, McCabe, and Munham.
I'm not surprised about those changes. Those are players, especially in Mead and Williamson, 2 players that are just entering their first full year after ACL surgery. You want them to be as fit as possible, not overextend them early on.
Yeah, 45 was probably good, right?
Yeah.
For those players, I would think. Everyone's hoping that Saar is fine. Carl will take this throw in when play resumes. We do expect Spirit head coach Giraldes to use his bench too at some point. Although his bench is not as deep today. Saar's back on. Great news for the Spirit. Not on the same page there. The ball went out past Weinrother.
The Spirit doing a good job of using some of that momentum that they created at the end of the half by scoring a goal to come and put pressure on Arsenal. Also, with all those changes, you want to take advantage of that if you're the opponent, trying to just make it a little bit chaotic at the beginning of the second half would be my aim when I see a team that has 4 different subs coming in. The relationships may be a bit off as they start to feel themselves out during this, feel those relationships out during the first part of this half.
Ball out again. Slower start to this second half. Push to the back. Zinsberger with a clearance in the end. Desperation clearance. Battle for the ball on the sideline. Well done by Kavaji. Legs get tangled. Spirit with a pick. Butel. Steinbrook. A tug from behind by Kavaji. In the space, it's going to be attempted to be played back to goal. It's not what they were trying to do. It's going to be a corner for Washington.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now you have Vivian Leah, who did a pretty good job on the right outside back position, has switched to the left because of Weinrater coming in. Just a little bit off there, is put under pressure, makes a mistake, and now the Spirit have an opportunity within 5 minutes to get in something else to challenge Zinsberger, who made a couple of really brilliant saves at the end of the half, but couldn't keep the one that matters out.
Sullivan has been taking all of the corners in this game. We'll take another 51st minute, 1-1 game. Went near post, it's headed away. Santos first to the ball. Out wide again, Sullivan. The cross in front, headed wide. Mateer had an opportunity for the go-ahead goal.
And Mateer can be so good in set-piece situations because here she just drifts and floats, gets away from Ajimang at the back post, and then uses that space that she's created to fly into. She's just still going up when she reaches the ball. Can't direct it back on frame.
Zinsberger went short, pressure on. Knocked away, but last touched by the Spirit off Kawasi. It's an Arsenal throw-in, 1-1 game, 52nd minute. Losing the ball. It's turned over. Santos putting one up. Zinsberger bobbled it, but recovered, kept the ball in front of her.
What an interesting little pass there, though, by Santos from that angle to try to direct it to the back post and include another player in the attack. Chips it up, sees Morris drifting there. Just that different intelligence, different creativity is what Santos is going to bring.
Great pickup, scored a goal against England at the last World Cup when Colombia surprised a lot of people there.
She scored that banger in the knockout rounds.
Into space, McKeown cuts it off. Spirit keep it in play. Santos in the middle. Butel. Carl. Putting it ahead into space. Kawase with an angle in front. Just missed. Sar yet again.
She could have 4 goals in this game.
Seriously, she could have.
And this is so good. Carl just saying, go on, Kawasi, take in the channel, and Weinrater can't keep up with her. And actually the pass by Kawasi slows Sar down. It's a little bit behind her. I think if she leads her slightly and allows Sar to continue her momentum going forward, it's an easy pass in.
She also had Morris as a trailing runner. I actually thought Kawasi was going to take that shot on her own.
She's been very unselfish, and for what we've seen through 53 minutes. Nice direct winger. Good pace. It seems like she understands the responsibilities that Heraldez has for her defensively as well.
Foul on Sullivan. Free kick, Arsenal. 54th minute. Veteran Sullivan, part of the U.S. World Cup team in 2023. Weinreuter. Kafaji. That's cut off. Good effort defensively. It was knocked out by McKeown. The Godfrey pass blocked. Appeals for a handball, but the Spirit will collect. Santos leaves it for Carl. Boutel, Kingsbury. Comfortable with the ball at her feet, moving it. '55th minute, 1-1 game. Goals by Russo, 10th minute, 45+2, Ule Sar, game-tying goal. Russo has options, push back. Arsenal will hold up play. Cool. Blocked by Stainbrook. Possession was kept, and then the ball does stay in play on that far side. Good job by Leah.
Arsenal struggling to keep the same rhythm that they had in the first half with the changes in the players that they have centrally, but also it looks like they've adapted the way that they're playing with Kafaji on. It almost looks like a two-striker situation, more of a 4-4-2 with Kafaji and Russo playing a little bit more, one staying high, one dropping in. And it's not allowing them to have that connection a little bit higher up on the field to allow them to progress the ball with more numbers around. But this is what these types of games are for, JP. Cool. Testing new things out, seeing what different formations look like.
Ruben Moy got it out wide for Leah. Driven by Ruben Moy into the box, headed away. Spirit got to that last, so it should be a corner for Arsenal. '57th minute, even at 1. Ruben Moy among those up for this corner. Another player out of the University of North Carolina. Kafaji's going to take it. They go short. Kafaji slipping it through on the right side. It's knocked away from Freya Godfrey.
This is one of the things Arsenal loves to do, is mix it up when it comes to set pieces. And here it's a little 3-player game. Godfrey doesn't quite get there in the end, but Kafaji in a nice spot to slip the ball through. Here's a look here with a little flick through. Well read by Sar.
They went short corner again. Kafaji trying to spin away. Drops it all the way back. Cool inside the circle. Goes back to goal. Zinsberger has been tested in this game. She's had to work out just against Ule Sar, let alone the rest of the players.
Yeah, it seems like a one-on-one battle between those two.
Yeah. Headed for Santos, taken away. Pushed all the way back to Zinsberger. Going short. Up the middle, that's going to be taken away, but the foul against Washington. Free kick, Arsenal. Not from there, though. That's coming way back. getting close to the hour mark. Well, down is Zinsberger. We were hearing that we might see Naomi Williams come in, but I thought that was going to be just to give her some experience as a goalkeeper down. And while she is down, here on DAZN, the global home of women's football, we've got some great prizes to give away. Next Sunday sees Arsenal taking on London rivals Chelsea, part of the Washington Spirit International Friendlies. If you are in the U.S. watching this game, vote for your Fan Zone Player of the Match, where you'll be entered into a raffle to win a pair of tickets for that big game. Scan the QR code or head to the DAZN app on your mobile or on the web. So Zinsberger down, hearing that Naomi Williams, who got to sit on the bench 15 times last year but never got first team action. Now granted, this is preseason, but this would be great for her if she would come in. You don't want to see anybody hurt, and it doesn't look serious, never know, but I'm sure that Naomi Williams would be itching to play at some point.
Absolutely, and you just saw the international symbol for substitution there by the trainers. It'll be a good experience for Williams because Zinsberger has been challenged a lot. So the only way that you can get these types of decision-making experiences is in a game like this. This is a high-paced, fast game. So Williams was signed in 2018, going to have the opportunity to most likely come into this game as she prepares herself here. She has to be confident in her decisions, whether she's coming off her line because there's space in behind her back line, playing out of the back. We've seen them use Zinsberger a number of times with her feet. Because the one thing she can't do is get caught in between two minds in this game, because Ule Sar will make you pay for that.
It's another one of those young players. She won't even turn 20 until October. Zinsberger is going to be making an exit. See the Arsenal banner. We've seen a lot of Arsenal jerseys in the stands.
Got a Manchester United shirt on. I can't believe they let him in.
It's confused. It's the Heat. Zinsberger. Well, they said she was coming out. I assume she knew that too. She leaves. Naomi Williams comes into the game with about a half hour, depending on what happens, to see how much time she'll actually get. A reminder that if this game is tied after 90 minutes, there is no extra time. It would go straight to penalty kicks. And Zinsberger, looking at the body language, appears to be okay.
Yeah. She almost looked frustrated that she was coming off there, but then she sees Williams' big smiles for her as a member of her keepers union gets an opportunity to play against the Spirit. Keepers grow close in all the training that they do. They really root for one another.
There is a union.
It is.
You know, unofficial union, right? They root for each other. They compete against each other, knowing only one can really play.
It's a special bond they have together.
And they've got Van Domsela, who is not dressed today, who might really be their number one would think. Not to take anything away from Zinsberger. Ajamong got it forward. Arsenal looking for something here. Russo cuts it back, blocked, but given away. The Godfrey pass to the right. Russo into the middle. High up off the deflection. It's settled, it's blocked. Godfrey didn't do as well as she would have liked with that touch.
Boutel did a really good job with a couple of interventions there, flying everywhere to block shots. But this is one of the things that Alessia Russo does so well. She can pick up the ball and commit so many players and drag them out of the space that Arsenal really want to attack. So she brings them all to the right side. Then she has the cross in that created a little bit of havoc. I just think there is such a wide range of depth to the game of Alessia Russo.
Santos battles there. And the ball is going to go out for a goal kick for Aubrey Kingsbury. Here on DAZN, the global home of women's football, we have some exciting leagues kicking off soon with DFB Pokal starting on the 20th of August. Frauen Bundesliga, August 30th. Liga F, September 7th. Fans can register for free at DAZN.com/women's football for access to live and on-demand matches in select territories. McKeown pass. They try to break out on the right. Mateer going long. Oh, Sarr almost got to that ball. Williams' first play looked like she came out a little bit late.
But I like that she continued her progress. Like, she didn't stutter and think, oh no, I'm not going to get
her mind,
there.
right?
Yes, exactly. That's got to settle her nerves a little bit.
Are you surprised, Jordan, at all that so far Washington has not gone to their bench? 65th minute?
Not really.
No.
Because the Spirit are fit and in shape in the middle of their season, especially players like Sullivan and Sarr. I'm thinking about who's typical starters, Butel, Mateer, McKeown. You want those players to be as close to 90-minute fit as possible when next week comes around and the season in NWSL restarts after the Olympic break.
Yeah, if he's going to make changes, it's most likely on the attack, right? He has.
Yes, I think Kouassi will probably be one of the first changes. Santos, just getting those two out since they are just integrating themselves into the squad.
They only really have one defender, Jenna Butler, a true defender, on their bench. The rest of them are attacking players, so whether it's Solano, Ratcliffe, Brown, or Hatch, one would think, I would all be surprised, right, if Kouassi or Santos were going to play 90 minutes. I doubt that.
I do think with how it's going, Ule Sarr will stay in the majority of this game just because she has been so close in a number of situations. You want her to feel as confident as possible.
And she doesn't look at all tired for all the running that she's done. She's running like the game just started.
Oh, to be young.
Yeah. Butel holding there on the interception. Russo. Ajaman. Back into the circle. Controlled by Arsenal. 1-1 game. Vina Reuter all the way back to goal to the number 2 goalkeeper today anyway, Naomi Williams. Number 3 on the depth chart. Looking to move, it's played wide on that left side, and then it's going to go out and play. If you're in the U.S., we're inviting you to show us your game face. Send in photos from wherever you're watching right now. Enter our photo sharing competition. Best photos have the chance to win a voucher from high-end beauty brand Il Makiage to the value of between $75 and $250. Head over to DAZN Women's Football for more details. Spirit on the ball. 1-1 game into space. The speedy Sarr plays it across. I thought she had someone closer. Gave that ball away.
Forgot how fast she was.
Yeah.
No one can keep up with you. So.
Right side, Mateer in the box, sending it across, had it down. And now out, corner, Spirit.
It's a good decision by Wubin Moy there because as the ball comes in, she doesn't know exactly what's behind her, so she has to make sure it goes in a direction that she knows what's happening. So as this ball slides over to the right side, watch Wubin Moy. She understands that there's a player behind her, but she takes care of the near post space, sends it back where it came from. Okay with setting up for a corner kick and getting everybody organized.
Again, it's Andy Sullivan. In the only shaded part of the field. Crossed the way to the middle. Flip downward. Who's to the ball first? Spirit get there. Butel. Deflected out. Throw in. Washington. The Spirit are going to be going to their bench. Hearing Brown, Ratcliffe, and Hatch. Possibly a triple switch. Carl, end line. That's blocked, comes right back. Kawasi, holding, pushing it back out. Boutel, McKeown, Mater. And that ball's gonna go out.
That's one of the areas, excuse me, that I feel like Washington can be a little bit better. Instead of allowing the pressure to come there, can Mater be quicker in her decision making, just to quickly pass it and don't allow Arsenal to get set in their shift and their movement to that side. Because then you see everybody's a little bit then reaching for the ball. Everything happens a little bit slower, a little bit delayed. Then the opponent can get set.
Goalkeeper Williams goes short. Ruben Moy. Arsenal slowing things down a bit. They have made 5 changes in this game. Spirit, none yet, but they're about to make some. In a space, long run back, but Kingsbury saw it coming all the way and clears.
The last couple attacks for Arsenal have been better because Kafaji has come into more of a 10 position and helped link the lines.
Foul was given there, and it's on Arsenal. Free kick, Spirit.
It does feel like she's drifting more centrally to help Arsenal find an outlet because their buildup has been significantly different than it was in the first half. She recognized that and dropping in more between Sullivan and Stainbrook more.
Finally, the changes. Radcliffe is going to be coming in, Brown is coming in, and Hatch is coming in as well. And these are the players making their exit. So Morris will be one of them. Santos is going to be another, and Stainbrook is going to be another. How would you evaluate Santos' performance in her first game with the Spirit?
I thought she looked good, comfortable, like she belonged, and didn't look out of place in defensive moments, on the ball, in attack. She's so comfortable under pressure, understands the right pass to make and when to make it, creative. I think it was a good first 70 minutes from her in Spirit colors. I think it leaves everybody wanting more, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Kafaji on the move from distance, right to Kingsbury. Ball is pushed back. We'll see if any of these changes change anything formation-wise. In a previous game, Hats played up top with Tsar. We'll see if that happens here.
It's one of the things that I feel like the best teams do is you understand, as we get a whistle here.
73rd minute, play has been stopped. Ruben Moy being spoken to about something. We had a hydration break in the first half. Nothing here in the second, which
That's what I thought it was.
surprising.
I think I was a little shocked that.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Yeah. One might be
different formations that you read what you have and you're able to shift
in game, right?
in game.
No foul was given there, much to the surprise of Arsenal. And they'll get the ball back anyway on a throw-in.
Or even to start a game, if you're Spirit, everybody's expecting you to play in a 4-3-3. Well, if you start in a 4-4-2 with 2 center forwards, the whole game plan that the opponents have is off in the first minute of the game. So just having that tactical flexibility.
Ball was turned over. Rousseau shot, and they go up. 2-1 Arsenal. They certainly found that seam.
Yeah, really good goal here from Arsenal because they step in, double team Sarr, and it's a little touch here from Kafaji. And then Alessia Russo isn't going to miss from here. She is so composed in these situations, makes Aubrey Kingsbury dive for it with that touch, setting up her left foot. That's going to be an easy pass in the back of the net for Russo. But what's more impressive to me is Kafaji's ball into space, that it led Russo at such a good texture on it, that Russo could speed up, get onto it, in behind the back line. And Arsenal's going to want those two to have good combinations as they start off the season.
Now there's a hydration break. She has both of their goals. Spirit will be upset.
Yes.
One, that they gave up the goal, but two, they had possession.
Exactly.
While we're observing this hydration break, we hope you've been enjoying the Fan Zone here on DAZN, the global home of women's football. Next Sunday sees Arsenal take on London rivals Chelsea as part of the Washington Spirit International Friendlies. If you are in the U.S., vote for your Fan Zone Player of the Match now. I think I know somebody's going to get a lot of votes here. She just scored both of the goals. You'll be entered into a raffle to win a pair of tickets for the big game. Scan the QR code ahead to the DAZN app on your mobile or on the web. And certainly Sar's going to get some votes, but one would think that Russo is the leader in the race.
Yeah. Pretty good percentage for her. Two shots on goals, 2 goals.
Right. I mean, she's a 2-goal scorer.
Yeah.
She's not going to miss from there.
Right. And that's one of the things that I think we saw when she was in the United States at UNC. She has a knack for goal, and she has just matured over her time, whether it was at Manchester United, 27 goals there in 59 appearances. Now in her second year, going into her second year with Arsenal, had 12 goals just in WSL last year. I mean, everywhere she goes, she scores goals.
So now it's Arsenal on top. Second time that they've led in the game. Second time it was a goal by Russo. And we are going to see some more changes. Caitlin Ford is one of those players. Layla Harbert is another. Steph Catley is yet another. Wow, that's going to be 5 changes, so we'll have to do a little bit of a recap for you right after the hydration break. All right, Leah's going to be one of those. Saw her number flashed up there. And Little's number is up as well. So it's a lot of changes, but something we expected, certainly. So you've got
all 3 of the Australians coming in, which I think will help Arsenal right now at the end of the game try to reestablish tempo, because I mentioned in the first half it felt a little bit more like they had the ball, they were playing a little bit more of their style. It felt like they were in control of how fast the game was being played. And then with the changes, it got away from them. But now you bring in Cooney Cross, Ford, Catley, really well-experienced players who can help regain that momentum slightly, especially Cooney Cross centrally in the midfield.
Substitutions were up in the upper portion of your screen. Saw that Godfrey also came out, Little came out, Leah came out. Here is Hatch on the ball, fighting for it, take it over. And now it goes out. Contact there as well. It's a good point you made, though, about the Australians coming in, because if you're trying to close out a game and you're looking for some chemistry, it's there.
Yeah. And to get them a few minutes, right? It's about 15 minutes they're going to be able to play. They just played at the Olympics, all of them playing in all of the games, just the group stage there for Australia, and it was a disappointing one. So you want to manage the emotions of it being disappointing after such a brilliant World Cup the year before. Give them a little bit of time off, but then also say, all right, it's time to go reincorporate yourself. You're playing 15 minutes in this game. Let's get you back into feeling like soccer's fun again.
Here's Carl in front, knocked away. Williams tried to save that, could not stop it from becoming a corner. Some of these subs that you're seeing now, especially these Australians, no doubt will get more minutes next week against Chelsea. Spirit are going to bring in Solano and take out Kouassi. How would you rate Kouassi today? First game as well.
Out of 10 or what? Because it was pretty high. I would say 8.5. I really liked what I saw from her. Direct, instinctual, good decision making in the final third. I think she should have gotten an assist to Ule Sarr there.
80th minute, Spirit corner. Sullivan takes another to the middle. Williams punched it, headed down. It's still loose in the box, cleared away at the last second. Boutel sends it right back. Williams down. Mateer blocked. And now Arsenal can't clear it. Brown back into the box. Williams lost her footing. Ford. Ratcliffe is after it, and all Arsenal could do is knock it out.
Well, if I'm Jonas Eidevall, I am very happy with the work rate of my team right there. Their willingness to put their body on the line and block everything, because those crosses were challenging Williams and not clearly handling them. To be expected. This is a young goalkeeper, but everybody's effort around her to boost that play in front of the box.
That was regular season effort, not preseason.
Very good.
Yeah.
In the 80th minute of your first preseason game. And it was just a scramble from the start. Great ball by Sullivan. Mateer gets a little flick on it, and then here's what I'm talking about. Here's Cooney Cross sends it out first, and then there's another opportunity here. Williams makes the first save, and then the sliding save there of Reed, who's been doing well at the center back position. It's just one after another there for Arsenal blocking shots.
It's an Arsenal throw-in. They have made 8 changes today. All here in the second half. Laid off by Sarr. Carl. Brown, another impressive rookie. Sullivan up the middle. The flick there. Oh, Sarr on the back heel. Hatch goes for it. Instead, it's a breakout for Arsenal. Good effort coming back, but Arsenal keeps possession. Kavachi goes wide on the left side. If they can find her, they can. Going up against Mateer. The cross in front, swept away. And it's going to go out.
She threw that scissors move so smoothly. Sarr looks like she's dealing with some cramps.
She's worked so hard today on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. And that's a quick transition the other direction from Arsenal. And
how about Kavachi? She's not been with this team long, recently signed, and she looks like she's been with them for a couple of years.
Yeah, really smooth. And I thought at times it looked like she was playing as a second 9. It looks more now like she's playing truly in the 10 spot, drifting a little bit more, finding the right pockets, but oh.
Here she comes again. Kavachi on the move, into the box, and that one's going to get out. And a card was just given in the 83rd minute, I thought, to Kavachi.
Yeah, it looked like it sensed a little bit of frustration there as Mateer closed her down. I think it's off the ball. After the ball gets played out, Kavachi just ends up clipping at Mateer. She's been good. That was a good run through the seam. When she tucks in as a 10, then it allows her to read the play and have that open lane to then break through the back line, which I think at the beginning of her time in this game, she was too far forward. So 1, she wasn't connecting, and 2, she couldn't make those types of runs.
2-1 Arsenal leading. Alessia Russo, who has since been subbed out. Both Arsenal goals. Spirit will have the ball. If they can level the score, no extra time, you would go to penalty kicks to determine a winner. But right now, Washington's down. Jenna Butler is going to be coming in. Their only real true defender on the bench, and she's a national team replacement player who got some time in the Summer Cup. And Ule Sarr, it's definitely not a like-for-like swap there. So Sarr was brilliant, though, on this day. So many chances.
A lot of chances, and this one may be the most difficult one to execute, and yet Ule Sarr does a little fadeaway header here, finds the back of the net, the 1 goal for the Spirit. And I think with this change, it brings Sarr off, but I think it'll push Ashley Hatch into the 9 position. Mateer will most likely go into the midfield then, and it'll put Jenna Butler at an outside back position. That's what I would guess. A little bit of shuffling the cards, but Geraldes doesn't have much of an option. Very limited bench today.
Good chance for a curtain call, if you will, for Sarr going off, and a chance for Hatch to be on her own up top.
Yeah.
She's not had a lot of minutes this year in comparison to other years. It's been tough to get her into the lineup because of Bethune, Rodman, and Sarr. And now you've got others joining, like Kawasi and Santos.
And one of the things about Hatch that she's been so good at, when she gets a run of games, she scores goals, right? 48 goals in her career in NWSL. But those have come in when she's starting game in and game out. So now with this different role, how does she adapt to continuing to be that type of goal scorer in a more limited role? It's difficult.
Arsenal in the light blue tops, getting it wide. Not as wide as they wanted it. Almost turned over. Now the Spirit do collect it. On the left side, Carl. Slowed down. Off a block. Weinreuter. Collision there. 2 players down. Goes against Washington, against Ashley Hatch.
Good defending from Weinreuter there to just get her body between the ball and Hatch, because pace per pace, I think Hatch is going to win that battle if she ends up slipping the ball from her.
Pressure on the ball, but it was won and turned over on this right side. Weinreuter holding it. Off a block, off Solano. Picked up. Oh, give it away, Hatch! Missed. That was a gift.
I was gonna say there was no bow on it, but that was definitely a gift. Just a couple of sloppy plays here, and I feel like I've talked about Katie Reed doing a good job there, maybe doing a little too much, and then it was Wubin Moy who's trying to play through pressure, and Hatch just jumps the passing lane at the last second, tries to go far post. It's the right decision, wrong execution. Remember in the first half I was saying, the more the Spirit can press, they're gonna find opportunities, because Arsenal is stubborn about playing out of the back. They want to play out of the back 99% of the time. And that was the gift that they were waiting to be able to have, and that could have equalized the score.
You can see Wubin Moy's body language, knew right away. Didn't see that player, apparently, in the scene. But they got away with it. Spirit of the ball, Solano. Played well in the Summer Cup, scored a couple of goals, their leading scorer. Got some minutes. Boutel, upfield. Weinreuter back to Williams. Weinreuter pressed by Carl. Near side. Madison Earl. And then the whistle blows. Well, they were trying to play it out of the back. It's going to be a Mateer throw, and she backs up to get some momentum going. 89th minute, 2-1 Arsenal. Long throw in into the box. Flicked down, then cleared out by Arsenal. The pickup there. McKeown lays it off. And that's blocked out. Throw in Washington. Playing now with desperation. They're trailing with not much time left. Be some stoppage time. Ruben Moy.
Oh.
Again, second time. Mateer. Block. Mateer again. That's block 2. Nice cuts. Kavaji. So good.
Wow.
So good on the ball. Not only Arsenal, but Sweden.
Yeah.
You've got a nice player coming up. Nice young player. She's already played for a national team. I think she's gonna play more though. Foul was called there. Could barely hear the whistle. There'll be some time added on. The hydration break for one, and then the goalkeeper injury, Zinsberger, but not sure how much. Long from Kingsbury. Silano. Almost at 90 minutes. Brown pushed it back. Boutel. Left side. Mateer. Paige Mateer. Sending one in. That's blocked. Never got there. Mateer again. Silano. Into the box. Leah Silano. Forced out. That's blocked. Arsenal get control. Giving it away again. Arsenal have become their own worst enemy here in the last 5 minutes. 6 minutes added on in stoppage time. That's a lot. Brown in the air. Spirit get it back. Give it up. Cleared away by Earl. Mateer. Sliding it for Carl. And that's going to go out. And that will give Arsenal at least a chance to take some time off the clock. They've been scrambling.
Take a few breaths.
Yeah.
Compose yourself. That's the most out of sorts I think I've seen them in a long time, but you have to think it's. So trying to hear what Eideval is saying to his team. But as the Spirit press, I think he's saying that there's opportunities to go 1v1 in the opposite direction, but they're just giving the ball away recklessly.
Boutel slides it up. Hatch was looking for it. It's knocked away.
Yeah, it looks like it's the 92nd minute of a first preseason game,
Yeah.
JP.
Yes, right here it does. Cooney cross into the middle. And now back to goal. Williams. They're playing with fire.
Oh my gosh. What a pass.
That was. Kafaji. Ajamang on the break. Still with it. Trying to finish it off, but it was saved by Kingsbury.
Wow. And that's what I think Eideval was talking about. Because Spirit are pressing so much, there's an opportunity in here. Kafaji finds Ajimang in behind. Great, powerful dribble there to get past McKeown. And then her heads up, and Kingsbury makes a good save with her boot just to flick it up and over.
She gave them some life right there. That's game over. That's 3-1 at that point. Hatch. Halfway line gained. Drops it back. Sullivan. Switch. Left side. Carl has found a lot of room on that side. Mateer. Gabby Carl. Laid up by Brown. Carl off the chest. Cleared away by Arsenal. Anaïg Boutel on the ball. Driven into the box. Doesn't get there. Flicked upfield by Ford. Hajamang. Bouncing off McKeown into space. Kavanji was after it, but there's Kingsbury reading the play. Halfway through it, stoppage time. Boutel. 2-1 Arsenal. Up the middle, Brown. Still looking. Courtney Brown was fouled. Free kick coming up.
I like Courtney Brown in this pickup as a rookie, bringing her in. She's so sneaky at drawing players in there. She gets pulled think she's saying she got her hair pulled, but I think it was supposed to be a jersey tug. Her hair was really long.
Hair got in the way.
But she finds the seams really well there. She draws a foul, but in a lot of games, she can find that space and then be the connecting piece between the midfield and the front line.
Again, credit the Spirit. She's a 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
Driven in by Mater. Williams came out, got a fist on it. Just one, but it was enough, and Ajaman clears. Kingsbury way out of goal. 5th minute of stoppage time. Sent forward. Denied by Arsenal. Ajaman going back. Ooh, looked like they're going to concede a corner. It's going to be deep throwing instead. It was Catley back there defending.
This is exactly the type of thing you want to work on, though, if you're in preseason. You're defensively trying to stop a team with so many numbers forward, throwing everything at you. For Arsenal, they have bent and not broke yet.
Another long throw in into the box. It's flicked. Appeals for a handball. And it's going to be cleared. Again, there's no VAR in this friendly. Long throw in again. Hatch was looking. Clipped by McKeown. Flicked away by Cooney Cross, who started every game in Australia, New Zealand at the last Women's World Cup. Referee stopped play in the 6th minute of stoppage time.
Oh.
And that's why.
Yep. I'm familiar with those. I had my number of bloody noses from heading the ball. I hope that this one's not too serious for Wubin Moy, but it's the challenge, and this is what happens when you're constantly under so much pressure. A lot of the balls get served in. You have to go up and be brave, especially if you're the captain here. Wubin Moy has that in her, but man, she heads the back of Ashley Hatch's head very hard.
She is wearing the captain's armband. Kim Little wore it at the start, but gave it up when she was subbed out to her. So we're past the 6 minutes, but more time was added due to injury. I mean, Arsenal will probably be pleased if this scoreline stays like this with just about everything except for all of those giveaways in the end.
Yes, I would agree. I think he's gonna be pleased for the majority of the game, but if you're Idaval, you know that this team can have a little bit more possession. They can control more of the tempo of the game, and it felt like it got lost there in the second half. The uptick happened again once Kafaji started to find the pockets to play in the midfield. But this is a team who's understanding new relationships and getting back together after a summer away. And I think also, yes, he'll be disappointed with the turnovers, but I think the mentality of the group in these last 8 minutes has been really good, JP, that they've been able to handle, okay, maybe we give the ball over, but we're right there to defend. We're right there to, maybe break our nose if we need to go up to a head ball and not allow our goalkeeper to have to make a save.
We talked about the depth on the Spirit. How about this team? Off the bench today, Catley, Ford, Cross, all starters on their national team. Wubin Moy, the same. Kabaji, who looks like a starter for almost any club team, right? And they still have Caldente, who's not back from Olympic duty with Spain. Emily Fox is also due to come back. So they've got some pieces and another goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, and I feel like Ajaman has looked really good up there, the young 19-year-old up front. But yeah, that's a pretty good bench. And you just look over the Arsenal squad as well. It's international from Danish international, international from Austria, Sweden. That's the benefits of playing in Europe, is you get these European internationals just eager to come and play for you.
See how much more time was added with the nose injury to Wubin Moy. Maybe a couple minutes left, perhaps. We'll see. Only Danielle Chesky, the referee, knows. All Washington knows is hurry up. There's not much time left. Brown to the middle. drops it off. Boutel going wide. Paige Mateer cutting towards the middle. Sending one in, but true on the bounce to Williams. Sending everybody forward is the 19-year-old goalkeeper off the right boot near the halfway line. Off Kabanji.
Ooh.
That was aggressive and an easy one to call. This could be it. Kingsby high up to take it. Crowd sensing this might be it too. Can't be much left. Kingsbury puts one up into the box. It was Butler who tried to get it. Instead, that whistle should do it. Arsenal, on 2 goals by Alessia Russo, are the winners in this international friendly, 2-1. Good effort by both of these teams, but one winner. And it's Arsenal. Russo with a goal in the first half, one also in the second half. Sarr had the only goal for DC, for Washington Spirit. Teams embracing in the end. It's been a good week. Arsenal got here late during this week. They'll be in Washington, D.C. this week as they get ready to take on their rivals, Chelsea, next Sunday, 1 week from today. Same stadium, same network. We'll have it for you on DAZN as well. Some of these players are familiar with one another from various competitions, so renewing some friendships and acquaintances.
And it was a fun game. Both of these teams, I feel like, not full strength, but at the same time, we saw some of the ways that they both can be great. Arsenal in possession, channel progressions and finding numbers in the box and being opportunistic in those situations. For Washington, good defensively for the most part, and they're going to be disappointed that the 2 goals they give up are a little bit things that they could have been sharper on themselves.
Two to 1 is the final score. 2 goals by Russo, 1 by Sarr. And both of these teams got to use their bench a little bit, much less frequent from Washington, but they did get most of their players in, other than the 2 goalkeepers that they did dress. There were multiple subs, 8, 9 actually, for Arsenal, all in the second half.
It's good to have these types of games in preseason where you're not just playing a men's team or a boys team, you're playing a team in a different league where the Spirit have a certain style about them, and even within that style, I think we saw different adaptations today. So if you're Arsenal, you got, how many players is that? 19 players that got to play against a different opponent, to have to adapt on the fly to players you don't know. It's really invaluable experience, especially for some of these young players who are trying to prove themselves to Idevall that, hey, they deserve to be on that first team roster a little more often.
2-1 was the final score of this one. We have some highlights to bring you from this 90-minute affair in Washington.
And it starts with the first goal from Arsenal. Kim Little plays it up over the top, really pulling the strings for everything. And then it's Alessia Russo doing what she does best. She ended last campaign for Arsenal scoring goals, and she starts this campaign in preseason scoring goals. Nice cheeky little outside of the boot ball there. And then Ule Sarr was one of the highlights of the entire game, not just for the Spirit, but it was so fun to watch. Her creativity on the ball, the way she can stop and start and change directions, always a threat, whether it's in the run of play or set pieces. Felt like she could have had more than 1 goal in this game, but when she found the back of the net, she really made it count. Not on the first try here, but watch her just keep herself alive. Gets another opportunity, always checking her shoulder, understanding that there could be a third opportunity, and this is it. Flips it up and over. No chance for the goalkeeper there. As Sard, the really beautiful finish, and it felt like a game at this point, JP. It was going into the second half. Washington Spirit used that momentum into the second half, and it felt like they could have gotten a second goal. The first 10 minutes, they were all over Arsenal. And here's Sar yet again in front of the net. I think if this ball's played a little bit more in front of her, she easily taps that in. But those two still trying to understand how they work well together. But then, unfortunately for Sar, she has a giveaway here that Kafaji pounces on, finds Russo in space, and Alessia Russo so comfortable in these types of situations, 1v1s with goalkeepers, dribbles around, scores the second goal, ends up being the game winner here. An absolutely brilliant finish for her. The calmness under pressure there is something that is so wise beyond her years. And then here, Ashley Hatch with a gift, doesn't put it away. And the Spirit can't find the equalizer.
2-1 was the final score in this one. Arsenal gets a win. 2 goals by Alessia Russo, who began her career playing at the University of North Carolina. Alessia, thank you for joining us. Talk about your game and your team's performance today.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I mean, it was positive. Lots to build on. I think it's the start of our long pre-season now. We've got a few games in, which is good. I think pre-season's all about building connections and finding the style of how you want to go into the season, and yeah, we did that today. And obviously Washington are a tough top side, and they made it really difficult today.
Alessia, what's that experience like to play a team that you guys know nothing about? How much can that help you guys as a unit build some of the relationships that you want to build out on the field?
Yeah, it's tough. You have to find a lot of solutions in the game because obviously they're not a team that we're used to coming up against. But I think that's good. It's good for your connections. It's good to have those conversations in tough moments. So yeah, they're a top side to come up against in our first pre-season game.
And now you get to play against a team that you guys are very familiar with. Next weekend, you face Chelsea. What are the expectations for the group going into that game against a friendly foe?
Yeah, again, another really tough game to kick off our pre-season. I mean, every time we come up against Chelsea, it's a really tough battle. But again, another chance to test yourself early on in the season, well, pre-season. And yeah, again, continue to build the foundations of how we want to start this season.
Congrats on the win. Congrats on your 2 goals. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
That is Alessia Russo. You've been voting for your player of the match in the fan zone. We can now reveal, no surprise, Alessia Russo. Over 86% of the votes that came out on top. Those of you that voted in the United States will be entered into a raffle to win a pair of tickets for the Arsenal versus Chelsea game. That's here at Audi Field next week. That winner could be you. Ted Lasso in the building. Jason Sudeikis.
A Williamson fan.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Maybe she'll
Very interesting, no?
Maybe she'll sign his jersey on the way out.
So,
real life Ted Lasso.
yeah, I mean, he really is a soccer fan. I mean, we've seen him at other soccer games throughout the country and in other countries as well. So he's into it. I wonder if he'll be here for the next game. It's Arsenal versus Chelsea. 2 great rivals. Arsenal won 3 WSL titles. Only Chelsea have won more with 7, including 5 straight, led by Emma Hayes, who's no longer there, of course.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one between 2 teams that often play really interesting games with one another. We'll see what kind of shape they're in preseason.
Angel City versus Juarez, streaming on DAZN. Check your local listings for the time in your area, the world you're watching. Same with the Gotham NWSL champions a year ago, taking on Chelsea. That's also streaming on DAZN. Different times in different parts of the country. Alessia Russo, the star of the day, with a couple of goals, one in the first half to give them the lead, one in the second half that turned out to be the game-winning goal that came in the 74th minute. Ule Sar had the game's only goal for the Washington Spirit. We're coming back next week to bring you the Arsenal match versus Chelsea, game 2 of these international friendlies. For Jordan Angeli and our entire crew, I'm JP Dellacamera. Thanks for watching this game today on DAZN. Arsenal 2, Washington 1.
Amazon, proud partners of UEFA Women's Football.
DAZN is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year. And you can relive history by watching the biggest fights at any time. Just head to DAZN.com and go to previous events to catch up on all the action from the biggest nights in boxing.
He's in trouble! The big fella! Garcia is having the fight of his life on the biggest stage possible!
Sometimes running a business can feel like climbing a mountain. It's actually a volcano. But Xero accounting software can help keep your business finances running smoothly. Soon, climbing up that mountain will feel more like riding down one on a really cool bike that can time travel. Looking good. Where are we? Search Xero with an X, because healthy business is beautiful business.
Estimated collision in T-minus 10.
Bring it on!
9. 8.
Can you confirm satellite collision is imminent?
7.
Let's go!
6. 5.
Carrying out collision avoidance maneuver.
4. 3. 2. 1. Satellite collision averted.
It takes the whole force to protect space. Join us.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
What a wonderful day!